Hello, and the big news fueled by data this week for me was the same one that's been driving most of the conversation this whole year, namely diversity in the workplace. This week saw the 3% conference come to town here in sunny Sydney, Australia, where once again persuasive and powerful arguments for greater diversity were made by persuasive and powerful women. It seems like as good a time as any to take a look at the key data that sits behind a lot of this subject, so pay attention, especially the chaps out there, this stuff's important. First up, who you hire is obviously really important, and if hiring the very best people isn't absolutely top of your to-do list in business, then quite frankly you deserve to go out of business. The wealth of data clearly shows that you get better results from teams who come from a variety of backgrounds. In a series of experiments published in the Journal of the National Academy of Sciences in the US, teams of financially literate professionals in Texas and Singapore were asked to price stocks. The teams with diverse backgrounds performed significantly more accurately, over 20% more accurately in fact. Meanwhile, the more homogenous teams' pricing actually became 30% less accurate. There are loads of these studies and they all showed the same thing. Loading your organisation with people who look different and have had different life experience to each other will give you an edge in intellectual performance. Your people are your inventory. It's just common bloody sense to hire the best you can if you want to succeed. Diverse teams may be smarter, but they also make more money, and there's absolutely loads of data backing up that too. McKinsey's study is currently the most famous and the most quoted, demonstrating that not only do large companies with diverse teams and leadership outperform the average by up to 35%, those large companies without that same diversity underperform the market as well. Turning that into actual money, in the United States, for every 10% increase in racial and ethnic diversity on the senior executive team, earnings before interest and taxes rise almost a full percentage point. In the UK, for every 10% increase in gender diversity, earnings rose by 3.5%. So while it might be comfortable to keep things looking and sounding the same, all that's doing is actively holding your business back from achieving its full potential. The problem though is not just that businesses are struggling to become less white and less male, it's that we also actually don't know enough about the existing makeup of many companies. In the US, the Fortune 500 companies are required to submit data on diversity to the Department of Labour. Unfortunately, only about 20% of them report any of that data at all, and less than 4% report it in full. So, gentlemen, you might well be sitting there, confident that you have no problem in diversity, but if you're basing that on just your gut feel, it might be a good time to get some real data. A slow pace of change in the face of all this research is still perhaps understandable. Fear of change is a powerful headwind. However, there is so much data here that really you should be very much more afraid of not doing something. Because if you don't, your competitors surely will. And I'll leave you not with a number, but with a quote from a former editor of Harper's Magazine in the US, and it's as applicable here as it is to journalism. If you're afraid to go too far, you won't go far enough. See ya.